Okay, let's go.
Imagine executing 3 weeks of flawless discipline, only to receive the confirmation email you've been waiting for. You are a funded trader. And then, within days, sometimes hours, of going live, you abandon every rule you followed to get there. You hold a loser, you size up, achievement that surfaces in the most process-driven people on Earth. It mirrors the experience of the Olympic sprinter who peaks perfectly at the trials, only to fall apart the second their feet touch the blocks for the final race. We see it again in the golfer who flawlessly leads the tournament for 2 days, only to collapse on the final round as the external pressure and expectations reach their peak. Achieving the funded account triggers a specific, invisible psychological trap. Until we name this phenomenon, the pattern of self-sabotage will continue to repeat. In 1978, psychologists defined the imposter phenomenon as a state where individuals cannot internally accept their verifiable success. They attribute their wins to luck or external factors, fearing they will eventually be exposed as a fraud. Research published in 2024 by Springer Nature confirmed a direct statistical link between this guilt of success and subconscious self-handicapping. The brain begins to actively undermine the achievement to resolve the internal tension. This creates cognitive dissonance. When your external reality outpaces your internal belief, the two realities violently repel one another. To your brain, the anxiety of waiting to be found out feels worse than failure itself. It removes the suspense by engineering an ending it understands. The subconscious mind sabotages the master account to relieve the unbearable pressure of expectations. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a mechanical attempt to return to a stable, albeit unsuccessful, baseline. Once the brain decides to resolve the dissonance through failure, it manipulates your behavior down one of 2 specific paths. The path of the freeze leads to hyper-conservatism. You become terrified of losing a single dollar, exiting winning trades far too early, and missing the exact setups that earned you the funding. The account eventually expires from the slow bleed of 1,000 hesitations. Most traders blame the market for this slow death, ignoring the psychological weight they attach to every decision once the stakes became real. The explosion serves as a sudden pressure release valve. You take massive risks and break your fundamental rules to blow the account in a single day, effectively ending the dread of waiting to fail. Both behaviors seek the same goal, escaping the weight of the master account. Whether through hesitation or recklessness, the subconscious is simply seeking a way out of the pressure. Because this is a mechanical function of the brain, generic motivation provides no defense. You have to use specific psychological tools to hack the system and sustain the account. Habit continuity protects the automatic execution of your trained behaviors. Treating the funded account as a new beginning disrupts your environmental cues and tells your brain that the old rules no longer apply. You must view the live account as day 22 of the challenge. Maintaining identical risk, session times, and checklists provides your brain with the same instructions it followed when you were winning. Overwriting the internal narrative of fraudulence requires empirical reprogramming. You cannot argue with an emotional feeling of unworthiness. You must confront it with raw data. Before your first session, physically write an evidence document detailing the correct decisions you made during the challenge, the stops you respected, and the bad setups you skipped. These data points prove your competence and deny the brain's imposter script the oxygen it needs to survive. Neutralizing the existential dread of failure requires a shift in how you process the stakes themselves, a concept grounded in growth mindset research at Stanford University. When you view each session as a data cycle rather than a test of your worth, you eliminate the identity threat that triggers cognitive dissonance. If failure is just information for the next cycle, your brain no longer needs to sabotage the account to escape the fraud label. The market only responds to execution. You must decide whether to bring your disciplined self to the charts or allow your scared self to dismantle your progress. The version of you that stays is the only one worth building.